Okay, can we have a really honest conversation for a minute? Because I need to tell you something that's going to change how you think about weight, especially after the age of 40. You know that feeling that you get when you put on your favorite pair of jeans and you're like, what the hell happened here? And then you start going through this mental checklist. Did I eat differently this week? Have I been less active? Did these jeans shrink? And then you step on the scale and you're genuinely confused because the number that you see on the scale doesn't match what you thought was happening in your life. Like, when did I gain these 15 pounds? How did this happen so quietly? If this sounds familiar, I need you to know something really important. What you're experiencing isn't about willpower. It's not because you're getting older and letting go of yourself. And it's definitely not because you're somehow failing at being an adult. My name is Traci D. Mitchell. I'm a board-certified Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach with a master's degree in health and nutrition education. And I'm the author of the book, The Belly Burn Plan. Now, for the last 20 years, I have been working with women just like you, and I've had this exact conversation probably 1,000 times. What you're experiencing has a name. It's called creeping obesity. And here's what's wild about it is that it happens to most of us after the age of 40, but nobody talks about it. It's like the secret that we're all living with. So let me start with the most important thing. You are not broken. Your body is not betraying you. What happened is that menopause basically walked into your life and rewrote your entire biological instruction manual without telling you. Before menopause, estrogen was like having a really good personal assistant managing your appetite. She'd whisper, hey, you've had enough, or you're actually thirsty, you're not hungry. But as estrogen starts declining, that assistant gets quieter and quieter until you can barely hear her anymore. And your body completely changes where it stores fat. Instead of your hips and thighs where it used to go as subcutaneous fat, everything starts to head straight to your midsection and become more visceral fat. So no, you're not imagining that your waist feels differently. Your body changed the game. But here's the first thing that's going to absolutely blow your mind. I hope you're sitting down for this one because it's kind of wild. In a study done at Harvard, researchers studied thousands of people for years, and they found that the daily difference between maintaining your weight and slowly gaining weight is somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 calories of an increase. We're talking about tiny energy imbalances that happen almost invisibly. But here's what I really want you to understand, and this is very important, that this isn't about counting every bite or obsessing over small amounts of food. The real issue is that your body's inflammatory response and hormonal signaling have changed, making it store energy, calories, differently than it used to. So please stop thinking this in terms of being a massive failure or a lack of self-control. Your biology shifted and now you need a different strategy, and we are going to talk about that strategy. But here's the second thing that's going to really surprise you, and this one kind of irks me because nobody ever really talks about this. You know how you used to be able to eat a little bit less, move a little bit more, and drop maybe 5 pounds in a week? Those days are gone, and it has nothing to do with you being older or less motivated. During menopause, your hunger signals get turned up to volume 11. That voice in your head saying, I need food, isn't being weak. It's your biology screaming because it's trying to compensate for all of the hormonal chaos happening inside. Plus, you start storing more fat around your internal organs as visceral fat instead of under your skin, that's subcutaneous fat. This isn't just about how your genes fit. This type of fat actually makes your whole system work harder and creates more inflammation throughout your entire body. Now, I think this is interesting as well, and this is the part that is going to give you so much hope. The solution isn't about eating less or restricting yourself more. It's about eating foods that will work with your new biology instead of against it. Now, the same Harvard study found something incredible. When people ate more of certain foods, and I mean more, not less, they actually lost weight. We're talking about more vegetables, whole grains, fruits, and nuts. More foods, less weight. This is exactly why I am so passionate about the plant-based approach. These foods are like little anti-inflammatory warriors for your body. And babe, let me tell you that during menopause, your body is already dealing with enough inflammation. The foods that I typically include in meal plans for my clients help to keep their blood sugars from going on a roller coaster, which means that they're not constantly battling cravings. And before you ask, because I know someone's got to be thinking it, eating more protein is not necessarily the solution here. I know that's what everyone's telling you, but cramming in more protein without addressing the inflammation and hormonal chaos isn't going to fix this. It's about the right foods that work with your changing biology. Here's another thing that's going to surprise you, and this one is my favorite because it's so empowering. Most of us think weight gain happens because we're eating dramatically more or moving dramatically less, but here's what's actually happening. Your body's relationship with food has fundamentally changed. It's not about the handful of nuts you grab while cooking or finishing your kids' plates. These are just normal life things that never used to be a problem. The real issue is that your body is now processing these same foods through a completely different inflammatory and hormonal filter, if you will. But here's the beautiful part. When you start feeding your body anti-inflammatory, plant-based foods, you're giving it the tools to process everything more efficiently. You don't need to restrict or feel guilty about normal eating patterns. And here's the last thing that I want you to really know, understand, remember every single day. The scale is lying to you. I'm serious. And here's what I really need you to understand, that getting on the scale every single day is not going to help you lose weight. It's only going to mess with your head. During menopause, your body composition is changing so dramatically that the scale becomes basically useless for tracking progress. You could be losing fat and gaining muscle, or losing bloat and inflammation, and the scale won't budge. Or worse, it'll go up even though your clothes are fitting better and you feel amazing. We want that. We want to feel good in our clothes. That number that you see is only a tiny part of the picture. It doesn't tell you about your energy levels, your inflammation, your muscle mass, your hormonal balance, all of the things that actually matter for how you feel day to day. So it's not going to give you those measurements. So please stop being obsessed with that number. It's not serving you. Your waist measurement is going to tell you so much more of an accurate story about what's happening inside of your body. So get that tape measure out and use the tape measure more, scale less. So what does this actually look like in real life, in your real busy life? Because theory is great, but you need practical stuff that you can actually do. So first, and I cannot emphasize this enough, hide your scale for at least 2 weeks. Put it in the closet, under your bed. I don't care where you put it. Get out a tape measure and track your waist instead. You're going to be amazed at what you learn. Second, and let's completely flip the script. Instead of focusing on what you need to stop eating, let's focus on flooding your body with anti-inflammatory plant-based foods. Add berries to whatever you're having for breakfast. Throw some beans in your salad. Add a handful of nuts to your afternoon routine. These foods literally work like medicine for your hormonal system, so get more anti-inflammatory foods on board. Third, pick one small way to reduce inflammation in your daily routine. Maybe it's switching from regular white pasta to quinoa once a week. Maybe it's adding a green smoothie to your morning routine. Maybe it's choosing to eat sweet potatoes over French fries. These small shifts toward anti-inflammatory eating really do make a big difference. Fourth, move your body in a way that feels good instead of like a punishment. Dance while you're making coffee, take a walk around the block, play with your kids, your pets, stretch while you're watching TV. This is all about supporting your body through this transition, not beating it into submission. And here's the most important one, be incredibly patient and kind with yourself. You didn't gain this weight in 2 weeks and you're not going to lose it in 2 weeks. But when you start feeding your body the anti-inflammatory foods it's craving, you absolutely can stop this creeping weight gain and start feeling good in that body again. Listen, I know this is hard. Your body is changing in ways that feel completely out of your control, and nobody wants to feel out of control. Your hormones are doing things that make absolutely no sense, and your life is probably busy and overwhelming most of the time. But here's what I need you to remember. You are not failing at this. You are not broken. You are not lazy or unmotivated or any of those awful things that we like to tell ourselves at 2 a.m. when we can't sleep. Your body just needs different support now than it did when you were 30. And once you understand what's actually happening, which you do now, you can work with it instead of fighting against it all of the time. You're smart, you're capable, and you can absolutely navigate this transition with kindness toward yourself, because honestly, you deserve that kind of kindness. If you want to dive deeper into how specific hormones might be affecting your weight, I created a free 3-minute hormone assessment that can help you figure out exactly what patterns might be showing up for you. You can find the link right below in the description. And remember, this is just one piece of the puzzle. It's not going to solve everything overnight, but it's an important piece that can make a real difference in how you feel day to day.